Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Grit, Grace, and Growth, the podcast where we dive into personal development, entrepreneurship, and living our best lives. I'm your host, Laura Navaquin, and today we're going to be tackling a topic that many of us struggle with: fear, specifically the fear that holds us back from pursuing our goals and dreams. If you've ever felt nervous about taking on goals, you're not alone. Fear can be a powerful deterrent, but today we're going to explore the practical ways to set fear aside and move forward with confidence. Let's dive in. First of all, let's talk about the crucial steps in overcoming fear and getting out of your own head. Fear usually starts in our minds. We overthink, we imagine the worst case scenarios, and doubt our own abilities. To counteract this, practice mindful and grounding techniques. When you catch yourself spiraling into fear, take a few deep breaths and focus on being present in the moment. Remind yourself of your own strengths, capabilities, and past successes. One technique that has helped me really is journaling, writing down our fears and our goals, our dreams, really putting into perspective of what we want to become a reality. So sometimes I'll write down my fears on, fear of feeling this, fear of doing this, and being able to conceptualize that it really is just an idea. Really, the world's not going to end and can go out there. And what's the worst I can do? I get a no when I'm pitching a sales call. Really, it isn't that big of a deal. And as long as I can kind of conceptualize my mind around that and about it not being a big deal, it just kind of deminimizes that fear that's lived at one point. Also, writing down and building visualizing the goals that I have also does the opposite and helps me build confidence in going out there and pursuing them and visualizing that goal as a reality down the road. So ultimately, once you have calmed your mind, the next steps are to commit. This means stopping the endless cycle of preparation and start taking steps. Commit. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of buying courses, reading books, jumping from one endeavor to another without ever fully committing in any of them. While learning is essential, it's equally as important to take action. If not, it's actually more important to take action. Choose one goal and commit and follow through. Remember, it's better to make progress in your goal and make edits along the way, learn from lessons when something doesn't necessarily work out as you initially had planned. It's better to do that and still be making progress than sitting by the sidelines wondering what could have been or what could be. When I first started in real estate, I had to fully commit. I really had no other choice. We went to that weekend seminar. We were sold on the idea of what opportunities real estate investing could bring us in the future. And we took out a $30,000 loan. Mind you, at the same time, I was taking on side hustles at the same time. I mean, I had a good job and I had a comfortable salary, but at the same time, we were living in New York City, downtown Manhattan, where rent was not cheap. And we had a comfortable lifestyle and enjoyed going out to eat every now and then, and probably actually far too often. So I had student debt to pay down, student loans for undergrad and grad school. And I was taking on, extra tasks and jobs here and there, like pet sitting, thanks to good old Rover. So I was taking on, sitting neighbors' dogs while they took a weekend trip or took trips so that I can earn the extra capital and didn't really have to take away from uh, our personal incomes that were funding, just living expenses and being able to go out and eat and take a trip here and there. We're from California, so being able to go home once or twice a year to visit family on holidays and whatnot. We didn't want to take away from that. But at the same time, I wanted to put a dent into paying off student loan. I didn't want to be paying into student loans when I was 30, 40, 50 years old. You always hear those stories and it sounds so crazy, but there are so many stories of people still paying student loans today, and they've been out of school for 20 years already. So I didn't want to live in that same thing and was aiming to pay off student loans quicker than later. So I took on dog sitting for neighbors and, other New York City folks while they traveled to earn that extra income to pay off student loan. That was my goal. But okay, so I digress. But my point is that we took on a $30,000 loan in order to fund this class. This class came with courses that we would attend once a week, or it was like a few times a month, the textbooks that came along with it. And yes, we upgraded, if you will, to include a mentor to come out one time within the year for a weekend and hit the ground running with us to get hands-on experience with them, that we thought was really going to take us to the next level. And thank you, Jesus, that we did, because I really do feel that the weekend spent with her in New Jersey did add a whole other level of confidence that we can do this. But my point is that we knew we had to commit. We had to go in, we had to learn as much as we could, and we really had to go out and put some offers in on these properties, because if anything, we needed to at least succeed at making enough money to pay back that loan. We were already trying to pay back student loans, so we didn't want to add to that debt of this loan that we took out for our real estate courses and training. So we knew that at least we had to earn enough to pay back that loan. And if that's all that it was, then that was a success to us. And we learned some information, paid back that loan, and I'd be okay. But it's paid off tenfold, with the confidence that we learned after the first, second, and third wholesale that we did, just made it that much easier. It really just made it easier to go out, make the calls, drive for dollars, walk for dollars, and close more wholesales. So again, that I continue to digress there. Once we got through those textbooks, and really once we got that weekend with our mentor, we weren't looking for information at the point before we actually hit the ground running and making offers on or trying to get homes under contract. We knew that it was about making the commitment, and really that commitment was game changer. It landed us to getting under contract our first property, then our second and our third, and the confidence grew and made us feel that much more confident in going out and doing this. So now that you've made the commitment, it's time to start participating. This is where the growth really happens. So until you begin acting on your goals, you'll be sitting on the sidelines dreaming, what if, what could be, what could have been. Participation means taking on concrete steps towards your goals. It might be attending a new networking event. It might be starting a blog, launching that new business, going after that promotion. Ultimately, whatever your goal is, the key is to start, even if it is small. Action breeds confidence. And the more you do, the more you'll believe in your ability to go out and achieve your goals. It's like building a muscle. So the more reps that you do, the stronger you get, and the bigger that muscle gets. The same thing is going after your goals. The more you go after it, the more you succeed at it. It builds that confidence in knowing I am capable of this. I can do this, and go out and replicate it and do it again and again. And even then take that goal that once you've reached, take it to the next level. So next, let's talk about the importance of setting realistic goals. This can be a huge difference between managing fear and building momentum. Setting realistic goals. Break down your big goals into smaller, manageable steps. So this makes them less overwhelming and gives you a clearer path forward. Celebrate your small wins along the way, and they add up, and you keep being motivated and continue moving along. When I set out to increase our real estate portfolio just over a year ago, I didn't aim to buy 20 properties in a year. I set realistic incremental goals that allowed me to build confidence and experience in adding to our portfolio. Over time, those small wins led to significant achievements. Before you knew it, we were celebrating another closing. We were adding another closing date to our calendar, and found ourselves on weekends on our date nights every now and then when, the kids are in bed and we sit back and, have some good old conversations, looking back and what we were achieving and celebrating those wins. Those small wins, one after another, lead to bigger and bigger, more significant achievements. Another powerful strategy is to visualize that success. I know I mentioned this in the beginning, but it really, really does help shift your mindset in overcoming fear. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing yourself achieving your goal. Imagine what it feels like, what the excitement it brings you, what pride it brings you to have reached that accomplishment. Visualizing this goal helps reprogram your mind for success and reduces the fear by making the outcome feel a lot more attainable. I read this study before about how athletes use visualization to enhance their performance. And really, it's the same thing. You can do the same thing for your goals as well. Seeing yourself succeed in this goal makes it a lot easier for you to mentally believe in yourself and to step forward to acting on that goal. Also, surrounding yourself with support is so vital. I cannot stress that enough. Finding a community or a mentor to help encourage you and guide you along the way. Having a support system that provides accountability and motivation when you're feeling fearful or nervous or doubtful or imposter syndrome kicking in, it really helps to have the right people that believe in you, surrounding you and encouraging you and giving you advice to take that next step and that push forward to take the next step thereafter. In my journey, having mentors has been a part of building a supportive community around me. So, of course, my husband is one of my biggest cheerleaders. My dad is another. I know I have a supportive family, but we've also kind of kept some of our entrepreneurial endeavors to ourselves. But building that community, other investors and other entrepreneurs is really invaluable. They've provided guidance, shared experiences, and helped us stay focused in our goals as well. And also just helped us build that confidence that nothing is unattainable and it's not really that hard. You just need to constantly be making strides forward and making baby steps towards achieving those larger goals that seem too overwhelming when you're looking at them from the beginning. Now, let's not forget the importance of self-care in all of this. Managing fear and stress is way easier than when you're taking care of yourself. Make time for activities to recharge you. So, whether it's exercising, reading, meditation, or spending time with loved ones, taking time for your mental and physical health helps boost your resilience and helps you handle challenges so much more effectively. When you're well rested and balanced, fear has less power over you. And not even just to say fear, stress, anxiety has less power over you. Self care is not a luxury, it really is a necessity to helping you achieve your goals. Another key is embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Let me say that again. Embrace failure as a learning opportunity. There really is no such thing as failing. The only way you can actually fail, kick off your boots at the end of the day and you're like, okay, I'm done with this. It's not for me. It wasn't meant to be. It was too hard. Everybody was right. It's so unattainable. This isn't for me. I'm going to give up on whatever this goal is and go back to life as it was prior to. That's the only real way to fail. If you made a goal for yourself of, whatever it may be, I'm going to bring in X amount of sales, I'm going to lose X amount of pounds, whatever it is, and you're working consistently towards that goal and you come short of that slightly, you say your goal was losing 10 pounds and you lost 9 pounds, you are still 9 pounds closer to your goal of having met your goal. If you made a goal of making 5 sales in a month, whatever it may be, and you made 3 sales or 4 sales, you're still that much closer to having met your goal. So yes, you failed at meeting 5 sales, but you're still that much closer to having met that goal than you would have been if you never took a step forward. And to having lessons along the way. So why didn't you beat that goal? Did other objectives come into play? What were they and how can you avoid them next time? Or how can you take what had happened and transpired into a learning lesson so that that doesn't repeat itself? So everything is a lesson. The fear of failure really holds us back, but failure is a natural part of growth. Each failure teaches us something new and invaluable and moves us closer to our goal and closer to success. So reframe the thoughts and the concept of failure that you have mentally as feedback and use it to improve. In real estate, I've had deals that didn't go through as planned. Instead of letting fear and anxiety and all those kick in and essentially paralyze me from moving forward, what did we do? We took a seat, We analyze what went wrong and apply to those lessons to future projects. It's all about learning and evolving. So, lastly, let's talk about the power of persistence. Consistency and perseverance are your best allies in overcoming fear of moving forward. Success does not happen overnight. And even if it happens in a year, and you may look at that and say, okay, great for you. It happened for you in a year. It also does not happen in a year with, irregular efforts. Success, again, does not happen overnight. It requires persistence and dedication, ultimately consistency. And you hear me say this again and again. Keep pushing forward, even when it's tough, even when you don't feel like showing up. And remember why you got started in the first place and stay focused for your long-term vision. There are so many times where, I somewhat felt like giving up or changing tracks because it wasn't necessarily working out. And maybe in some ways we change tracks slightly, depending on what endeavor we're talking about here, which goal, but we change tracks by listening to feedback that we're getting and how can we make something better? Am I pushing or trying to create and sell something that's makes sense to me and what I think it should be? Or am I taking a step back and listening to my students and the information that they need, the way they need the information to readjust our course so that it's more beneficial for them? They're getting more out of it. They're learning more from it. They are getting it in a format that they find and deem the best. So taking everything as feedback. So ultimately, again, stay persistent, really makes a difference. Stay persistent and be consistent. That really makes a difference. Every time, no matter how small, showing up brought me closer to my goals. And I really do feel like that is what brought success in a year. And I'm not even saying success and, oh, yes, I've made it. We have so far to go. We have so much more to go and work towards in meeting goals that we have set for ourselves and our companies and even personally, and then other endeavors that we are in the process of planning as well. So other businesses that we're looking to launch as well. But really just showing up consistently day in and day out as if it was a regular job, going up to my office and working and having a schedule on my calendar, knowing what I'm working on that day brought me closer to those various accomplishments. And it's the same for you. So to recap, here are a few key points to help you set fear aside and pursue your goals. Get out of your head and practice mindful and challenging your fears. 2, commit and focus on one goal and take action. 3, start participating to take concrete steps towards your goals. 4, set realistic goals, break them down into manageable steps. 5, visualize success. Reprogram your mind for thinking about those achievements you're going to have. 6, surround yourself with a supportive community. Find the community, find the mentor, support yourself with the right people. 7, prioritize your self-care. Take care of yourself mentally and physically. 8, embrace failure and learn from it. Keep moving forward. And 9, be persistent. Stay dedicated to your long-term vision. You will get there. You will get there. Fear and anxiety and all of those are a natural feeling, but it really doesn't have to control you. By taking these steps, you can set aside fear and move forward confidently towards your goals. Remember, you have the power to achieve great things. You just need to start. Thank you for joining me today on the episode of Grit, Grace, and Growth. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody you think would benefit from it. And if you have a story or tips about overcoming fear, reach out to me on social media or through my website at lauranavaquin.com. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, keep striving, stay courageous, and remember, you've got this.